Oh, yeah. I think PSG finally understood the assignment, man. Finally understood the assignment. What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. You know the face, you know the name. Aaron here, back again. Shout out to everybody always tuning in, showing love and support as per usual. We are here, man. Still roll to 13K. Shout out to everybody tuning in, man. I appreciate every single one of you lot. Make sure you keep liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all of that good stuff. As you can see, like I said, still, getting everything back in order, change location, so I need to change my studio, but we're gonna do that just in time, or just in time for September maybe. I'll try and get everything in order and create my new studio. Shout out to everybody tuning in, and I appreciate every single one of you. Like, you guys are absolute legends. Today we are here to talk about Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, and they have signed a new player called Désiré Doué. And with the arrival of Désiré Doué at Paris Saint-Germain, I think I have to applaud the club. I have to applaud the team, and I have to applaud the president or the CEO of PSG in Nasser Al-Khelaifi, because he has understood the assignment together with the new sporting director, but together with the sporting director, Luis Campos. They have understood the assignment. I told you guys last year that I like the approach that PSG were taking in signing young French talent. Now, that didn't mean that I only wanted them to sign French talent, but what I did want them to do is carry on that trend of getting rid of all these pensioners, getting rid of all these so-called superstars, and investing in young talent, whether it's French, whether it's foreign talent, just young talent, people that want to come to PSG to actually help the club be successful again. Not just because they're obsessed with the Champions League, not because they come for the money. Of course, it's very beautiful to live in the city of love like Paris, but the primary reason, the first reason why players should come to PSG or go to PSG should be because they want to be successful with the football club and because they want to go and play for the club. PSG is a club with a lot of history, and to see PSG turn into what it was turning into was a bit concerning, was very concerning. Al-Khelaifi expressed his desire to win the Champions League when the Qatari first took over, but it almost became like an obsession at one point. And I was just like, okay, you've tried so many times now. You've gotten as close as you could possibly get to a Champions League trophy, which was the final in 2020, and they lost it to Bayern Munich. And I was just like, bro, if it doesn't work with Mbappe, if it doesn't work with Mbappe and Neymar, if it doesn't work with Mbappe, Neymar and Messi, bro, just give up. Just give up. And they still try to add more players. They brought Di Maria, then they brought this guy, and then they brought this guy. And it was just a whole mess at one point, to the point where the core values of PSG were lost. You guys remember the rumors that were flying around that, Mbappe at one point was just like, all right, cool, I'm going to take the reins here and I'm going to dictate what type of players need to come into the club because the core values of the club have disappeared. How is it possible that the club that represents the capital of France has Spanish as its first language in the dressing room? It just felt wrong. Do you know what I mean? And yes, it may seem very patriotic, but I swear in all other clubs, they have these core values as well. Do you know what I mean? Every English club, the conversational language is English. The language being used in the dressing room is English. When we watch Pep Guardiola, his documentaries for Man City and all of that, yes, he speaks Spanish. Yes, there are Spanish speaking players in his dressing room, but the conversational language is English. Do you know what I mean? I look at some of the footage from I don't know, German teams and whatnot. Bro, they make an effort. Bro, I wanted to talk about Bayern Munich, but at Bayern Munich, it's actually a requirement to speak German. Can you imagine? It's a requirement. Do you know what I mean? So to see what was happening at PSG, bro, obviously certain players came in and did make an effort, but others, bro, like, not to bash him, but somebody like Neymar has been at PSG for God knows how long, and he still didn't speak French. He was still speaking Portuguese, Spanish, and no, the core values have to remain at the football club. And one of those core values is the fact that young players should have been prioritized, because for far too long, PSG have let talents go, and those talents went to be successful elsewhere, and then PSG are stood there looking like mugs for not keeping them. Kingsley Coman. You have so many talents off the top of my head. I can't really think how many, but Kingsley Coman is the first one that jumps to my head that they let go of. Do you know what I mean? Christopher Nkunku, and not necessarily successful, but just good footballers. How many players have they let go that went on to be good footballers? Whereas if they would have kept those players, they could have been successful with those players. Do you see what I mean? So it's just way too many to count. And I'm glad that they finally understood that all this Champions League obsession and all this Champions League trophy thing, forget that. Put that to the side. Let's focus on bringing in young talent, whether it's French or foreign talent. Let's focus on bringing these guys in. Bring in an actual good coach in Luis Enrique, who I believe is a very good coach, and he can bring in that. He can bring in the football that he played at Barcelona. He can bring that to PSG with the players that he wants, and he can build a good team. And I'm looking at some of the players that they brought in since last season, and the average age is looking really good here. Do you know what I mean? Bradley Barcola, 21 years of age. Rondal Colomwani, 25 years of age. Gonzalo Ramos, 23 years. Lucas Berardo, who they got from Sao Paulo, 20 years. Gabriel Moscardo, who they got from Corinthians, if I'm not wrong, 18. João Neves, who they got now, just recently, 19 years of age. William Pacho, a new defender they got in from Frankfurt, 22 years of age. And obviously now, it's not confirmed yet, it's not official. By the time this comes out, it might be official. But yeah, and Désiré Doué is 19 years of age. And that's a very, very good call to have, because the best bunch of people that you want to teach stuff to is young people, because they soak everything in very quickly and they execute. I don't want to say orders, but how'd you say that? Let me just say orders. They execute orders very, very quickly and very well, and they learn quickly as well. And specifically talking about Désiré Doué, I'm glad that he actually chose PSG, because PSG the core of it needs to be French talent. The core needs to be French. And I'm happy that he chose PSG over Bayern. Not that I don't like Bayern, but I think Bayern have other priorities rather than wingers. I think they have other stuff to build on, other stuff to rebuild. And at Bayern Munich, I'm not sure if he would have been a guaranteed starter, with the likes of Coleman still there, with the likes of Gnabry still there, with the likes of Elise coming to the club now, with the likes of Leroy Sané due to come back from injury. I don't know if Désiré Doué would have been the perfect starter. You know what I mean? I feel like he would have been a sporadic player, in and out the squad and whatnot. You know what I mean? Whereas at PSG, I think he can be a guaranteed starter. I actually think that left-hand side is his, because Mbappe's gone now. Désiré Doué is a left winger. You've seen what he's done at the Olympics. If you've seen some of the cameos, a direct winger. And I think this is what PSG need. On that left-hand side, they need a direct winger that's going to take people on, obviously use a bit of skill here and there, but a direct winger. And I think in Luis Enrique's system, he's going to fit in perfectly. So I actually think that's a brilliant choice from Désiré Doué. And I can't wait to see more of him with PSG. He's going to stay in the French competition. He's going to be able to prove himself still in Ligue 1, but with a better team. He's going to gain confidence. He's going to be in Paris. His family's still going to be around. And he's going to be able to prove himself at Champions League level, which is brilliant. And on top of that, he can play himself, who knows, he can play himself into form to the point where Deschamps might have an eye on him. Do you see what I mean? So yeah, I think this is a great move. This is a great move for French football. This is a great move for himself, Désiré Doué. And this is a great move for PSG as well, because they're keeping that pursuit of, we need to go and get young players. We need to go and get young footballers. And if they're French, even better. Not Joe. So yeah, yeah, nah, I think this is a great move, man. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. For those who watch Liga, and you guys know, man, I'm always going to talk about football from outside of Europe as well. Outside of the Premier League. So, yeah, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment, all of these good things. And I shall see you very soon. Peace.